لحظة خليني Okay, I'm gonna get us started. Hi everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight for our How to Tuesday series. This week, we are happy to be able to host How to Tabla in collaboration with Al-Bustan Seeds of Culture, which is based in Philadelphia, who we work with a lot. We're really happy to start these collaborations with them and hoping we can do more. The format for today, we are very lucky to have the musician and percussionist Hafez Kotain here with us. But before we kind of get in and he teaches us all the skills and amazing things that he knows how to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Muhannad Ghanawi, who is the new executive director of Al-Bustan Seeds of Culture in Philadelphia, and he's going to talk about their organization. Muhannad, you're muted.
Yep, there we are. شكرا عبير. سلام مساء خير عليكم جميعا. برغب أتقدم بالشكر ل Palestinian American Community Center والتقدير على تواصلكم واستضافتكم. أقدم لكم نفسي، أنا مهند غوانمة، فلسطيني أمريكي، وبالتالي منكم وفيكم أحييكم. إذا بتسمحوا لي أقدم لكم موهبة جبارة، أستاذ إيقاع بمعنى الكلمة، ومدرس قدير وعنصر مخضرم في مدينة فيلادلفيا، وأخ في البستان وخليل في حب الفن العربي. سيرته بالإنجليزية أستاذ حافظ قطين is a percussion director. He's a master percussionist fluent in both Arab and Latin rhythms. Born in Venezuela of Syrian heritage, he grew up in Syria until the age of 16 years. He began playing the doumbek at the age of 7 and made his first stage performance at the age of 9, and went on to study with master Syrian percussionist Hadi Jazan, winning the national percussion competition in Syria for 5 consecutive years. In Venezuela, he studied percussion at the TMV Institute for Music in Valencia, where he also taught a variety of percussion classes and styles, blending Arab and Latino music to youth. He works with Al-Bustan throughout the year, teaching music in summer camp, weekly percussion classes at several Philadelphia schools, and the weekly percussion ensemble class at University of Pennsylvania. Hafez is a recipient of the prestigious 2013 Pew Fellowship in the Arts, which is awarded each year to 12 Philadelphia artists who are of exemplary talent. I wanted to conclude by saying that I know that you will delight in this evening's music, and that you will feel revived thereafter. I welcome your contact at any time in English, in Arabic, or even in basic Japanese. Have a marvelous evening, enjoy your holiday season, and be well. Selmu Islamu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Muhannad, so much. It's my privilege and it's an honor to be with you guys, sharing what I do. And I want to share with you some videos, probably a little taste, so you can see our students' progress. Those are students that they come to us or we go to them, vice versa, and they know almost nothing about the instruments. And then we start from the beginning, teaching them the name of the instrument. Of course, the most famous name is Tabla to all of us, or Tabli, or Derbaki to the Western Darbuka. And then we start from, the basics, how to hold the drum, how to play it, if you're left-handed, if you're right-handed. I do this almost every day. I'm honored that, I've been working for Al-Bustan for more than 13 years so far, and hopefully for more. It's a great organization, as Muhannad mentioned, and it's my honor to be a member of this beautiful team. Culture is very important to me. As you heard from Muhannad, I was born in Venezuela, so I speak the Spanish 100% and write it. Then the family moved to Syria, and that's when I saw this instrument for the first time, and right away it was that click that I was in love already with the instrument. And always I ask myself, how come this one head instrument produce so many sounds? And there's nothing in the back, just to let you know. So it's only this head in here, and making so many sounds. As an example. Then step by step I started learning more and more and more, and I knew that was me. This is what I want to do, and since then I've been doing it. Teaching runs in our blood in the family. I have a family of 4 teachers: English, Arabic, English, and myself. Of course, my late brother was a teacher as well. So the tabla, what is it? What about this instrument? Again, I really want you to learn as well, not just watch this performance and demonstration. I want you, when you leave here, to remember the name, where this instrument came from. Of course, the Middle East, so many countries, so many different names, as I mentioned. The notations, this is something very important. You see behind me, and I'm going to share with you some of the notations. When I came to Venezuela, to make that long story short, now bear with me. I was born in Venezuela, went to Syria, then I came back to Venezuela, and I studied the TMV. They thought this was a vase, where you put the plants. And then, I decided to teach it even more and become, a teacher in that institute, and was teaching and mixing those cultures, the Latin and the Arabic. By playing congas, timbales, the doumbak, or tabli, or derbaki, or darbuka, and mixing those together. And there are many videos that you can watch. All you have to go is to our website, albustanseries.org, or you can go to YouTube and watch those videos. One of them, before I forgot, I want to share with you this performance with my students. It was a world percussion concert, so please listen to this. Different students, different age, and world percussion. Here we go. So this is Danny, 5th grader from Moffitt School. It's a great school that we collaborate with them. We've been collaborating for 10 years or more. You can see here, we have different community. We have high school, 4th, 3rd, 5th graders, middle school. So enjoy these couple of minutes here. So these are 2 students from the University of Pennsylvania. And we have the high school, Northeast High School. We named this group Al-Amal, Hope. So I'm going to fast forward here to show you kind of the ending, but please watch the full video when you have some free time. This is Northeast High School and the community. The Philadelphia Art Community Ensemble, percussion ensemble. And watch what's going to happen here. So now we have djembe, which is an African drum, a percussion instrument. We have the doumbak. We have the buckets. We have shakers. And you hear the triangle, right? Right here. So this is one of so many merengue from the República Dominicana, the Dominican Republic. That's what the buckets are doing. And the djembes are keeping the beat. This is the call and answer that I wrote. try to count these beats here. That's it. So basically, this is who was involved here. Moffitt School, Al-Amal Percussion Ensemble from Northeast, West Philadelphia Community Percussion Ensemble, you name it. So many joy in here. The reason I wanted to share with you this, and let me prepare this one for you before I forget as well. The reason, just to show you these kids, when we go to the school, basically they will be amazed with the sound that this instrument produces. This is very important. As well, I wrote the books, of course, with Al-Bustan, Method 1 and Method 2, where I'll share with the students, and when I say students, we're talking professionals, beginners, all levels, even professionals, music teachers. And what we do, we share with them the notations, such the doom. What is the doom? How we write that note, the tack. And I use kind of a Western way of notations, so it's easier to the Western musician, artist, to read that as a downbeat, which is the doom, guys. This one. Yeah? And in the book, you can see, you can read what is that doom and what sound it produced. The other one, the tack, and different instruments. For left-handed, how you should do that, how you should hold the drum, exercises, and it goes on and on and on until you get to, I'm going to just scroll to the almost the end of that book. And you can see all these exercises. Now, why I did this? Again, we go to the main point that I want to share, the notation. That's a very important element. So when you play the doumbek, as Arabs, we know that, we hear it in weddings most of the time. We hear it, in upbeat music. We hear it in classical music. But when I decided to do this, because I heard from a lot of people, do you read notations when you play the instrument? Do you have your own music when you're reading? So most of the time, as a percussionist, we read percussion. And I'm going to keep scrolling. You see exercises, different hands, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, until they get to finally finish that book. I'm going faster. This lesson, I use it as a percussion solo. What I mean a percussion solo, where the whole orchestra of percussionists, let's name it, or the ensemble, will play the whole thing. And pay attention to these numbers. These are what we call the time signature. So it changed from fast, as example, doom, 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 taka, 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 doom, 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 taka, 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 yeah, to doom, ras, tak, doom, ras, tak, ras. And those are rhythms. So everyone that saw these books learned it and enjoyed it. And here is the last one. This is the last one. This is kind of, I'm preparing the students to study the second book, which is the higher level one. More techniques, more notations. And, at the same time, remember, they reading, they listening, and they playing. This is when we read from the book. What you heard at the end, that was the call and answer. My signature call and answer, which is, I wrote it like in probably 6 years and became the most famous one. And again, I can share with them these kind of videos. I'm not going to play it, but these are kind of what I've been doing, guys, with the COVID situation. I'm at home in my apartment and I'm teaching online. This is why we continued as Al-Bustan. We're still here. Nothing stopped us, to let you know. We did our summer camp. It was actually a great experience with the COVID situation, with the technology, and learning, how to use all these technical issues and fix them. And I'm still learning, but this is kind of what I do. I will play that percussion solo for them. This is Bahja, the percussion solo Bahja. So what I do here, they already learned it. They know how to read it. And now what I did here, I did play the whole composition for them. And they listen to me. and play with me. It's like myself giving them company, basically. But nevertheless, let me continue sharing with you some of the instruments. So to start with, as the one and only, the doumbek. The doumbek used to be, this is the modern one that I have here. This is kind of, they start doing it in the 90s or 86, 87, something. I don't remember the exact date. I remember for sure that I was in Syria back then. It had to be in 90 or 89, 91, because I came back to Venezuela in 92, or beginning of 93. I remember that was my first performance in December of 1992. I never forget that, when I went back to Venezuela. So they start making these fancy ones. The reason why, when I say fancy, they have the plastic head, so they tunable. So you can see these screws around for a reason. They have it here. It's just for me to kind of put that sound higher pitch, what we call music, or let's say sharper, or lower it and will be bassier or lower pitch. So instead of doing, I could be higher, always going up when we tighten it. So it's gonna be dun 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 instead. Or if I go down, dun 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 dun. Okay. And doom, by the way, D-U-M-M. This is the main one. And the metal, the material is, this is the aluminum, the modern one. Yeah, you can see this is handmade, by the way. I'm gonna get it closer to the camera. We go to our beautiful art in the Arabic world. Look at this beautiful work that I have here. This is the keyboard, by the way, Armenian Lebanese maker. And this is handmade, ladies and gentlemen. This is handmade. It's not a machine that you will put and will be like, zzz. No, 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 no. What they do, they put, first of all, the skeleton or the shape. It's a goblet shape, as you can tell, with one head. This is basically the doumbek. And what they do, they painted, you can see from the beginning, even you see the sticker. This is his own signature. I couldn't even take this off, guys. They put it, then they paint. That's magic. How they did it, I have no clue. It's amazing the way they did it. And then they do the same thing here in the upper level or the lower from the outside. And they start putting these pieces. And to show you, I'm going to go closer and hopefully get to see this because I lost part of it right here. I'm going to move my finger so you can see. So this is what we call sadaf in Arabic, mother pearl. Okay? Now, the traditional ones, they used to be made of clay, and they still make it. Nothing win with the sound of the clay doumbeks or tablas with fish or goat skin. And usually what they used to do, they put like thread, woven thread, and they tight it. You know, if you're familiar with the djembe, the African American drum, the same thing used to be. But what happened here with Hafez? I used to travel in Syria and play, and what happened? I will play half an hour, 40 minutes, maximum an hour, then I have to switch the drum, put it down with a, you know, heat that head, and then use the other one. That's during the performance. And then it became a headache because remember now, I'm gonna have to take 2 tablas instead of 1. So I couldn't wait. As soon as they start making this, and to be honest with you, I became addicted to these. Again, if I will find, you know, probably tomorrow I'll change my mind and bring one of the traditional ones. Why not? But again, I will not be able to travel with it. I'm going to show you this one that went with me to China like 10 years ago. This drum. This is Jawharat al-Fan from Egypt. So that's perfect. That way they can see it. Perfect. Again, look at this artwork. Yeah. Now this is synthetic. So of course you can hear the sound deeper in this one. Again, I tuned them differently. Some of them are bassier than the others, but the same concept. Tunable. Hafez, what do you mean with tunable? I can tighten it or loose it, remember. And the same thing, mother pearl, but different maker. This is Jawharat al-Fan, and I'm gonna be closer. Hopefully you can read this. It's right here. I probably saw it already. Jawharat al-Fan. Yeah, in Arabic, it's written in a beautiful way. And again, how they did that, it's an art. Till today, I watch it and I enjoy just watching how they did this. Handmade. Yeah, they wrote in Arabic, Jawharat al-Fan, 2 words. And same concept, the sound, I can tune it, as I mentioned, and tighten it. Now, one major issue, a problem, it will be if you put something sharp in here, because this is plastic. So nothing hot, nothing sharp next to this. Of course, we know it's plastic. This third one I have, it's the heaviest and the biggest size-wise, from a friend of mine, Lebanon, Nakhli, Lias Nakhli, very famous and very, 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 very talented percussionist as well. So he used to be a percussionist, then he became the maker, and he started making this. This is the most expensive one, to be honest with you, that I have. And again, look at this, handmade. Yeah, and you can tell this is bigger than the others. If I stand and I'm putting it like that, and again, they put their signature right here. You can see Nakhli in Arabic. Yeah, if I go back, right there, Nakhli. So Lias Nakhli also makes other instruments. Now, to play something with this one, probably you'll hear the sound. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sound. And I'm sure you've seen it. And again, you can watch those videos that we have, and you see how I use these different instruments and what kind of music. Now, remember, the doumbak, it's very famous. If I play this rhythm, okay, for everyone watching, definitely you gotta recognize it. The laf or malfouf, very famous. There's a famous song that in Palestine, they sing all the time, Zarif Atul, right? So here is the rhythm. So if you're wondering how I'm playing that, I'm right-handed. So when you see the watch, that's my left. And if you see this rubber, that's my right. That's why I wear them. So you can recognize from the camera my left from the right. Okay? And the way I'm holding the drum, this is my left side, of course. Again, the watch. Because I'm right-handed, I put it on the left. And now I'm comfortable sitting. The drum between my legs. Even if I can, always I tell my student to, you know, you can stretch, move, and that doumbak should stay here. You should not lose it or, you know, lose control of it. Other thing is, if you lefty, always you switch. So your domain hand is the left. Okay, you put it back. Now, what happened if something happened with one of the heads? This is what will be happening. This is the head that I used before with this drum. Remember this beige one? So it used to be this one. Again, with the screws, what I do, I forget to mention that this is very important. I will loose these screws around, and this upper part will be loose. So I'll take it off, change the head, put this one, put it back, tighten, and back to work. This is basically the concept when you change the head for these instruments, the doumbaks with plastic head. So it's way easier than the goat or fish skin. That's a different process and takes probably weeks sometimes to get that head ready to put it in the doumbak. Then again, with the throats, put in what khiyut we say in Arabic, or rabbatat, and put it and tight it very, very tight with that drum. Now bear with me because I'm going to show you more instruments because they're very important. Arabic percussion, we don't have only one. It's a family of percussion. I always get excited, guys, and I mean it when I show you. It's like my family. And when I used to be a baby, that was very expensive. Yes, I always share a story. My first drum ever, my sister had to sell a piece of her jewelry, the only piece of jewelry, so I can buy it. It was so expensive, and we couldn't afford it. Everybody had it. And back then, I was third time #1 in the country in Syria. But at the end, I ended up buying that plastic head tunable. I was so excited. And until today, I take care of my instrument like the babies, like my babies. I always tell my students. So we have more instruments. You still with me? The rick. Look how cute is this one. But this is one of the hardest. Now I'm going to try to move it so there is no shadow in here. Okay? Again, the maker is Keywork. You can see his name in Arabic. Let me be here. Right here, probably you can see it. Yeah, keyboard. The same maker that made this one, remember? Same maker. So I like to do that personally. I like to get different instruments from one maker, then try the other one. And I'll get lucky with the 3 makers that I have with me. Keyboard, Jawharat al-Fan, actually 4 makers. Lias Nakhli, and I have Cooperman, the famous Cooperman with frame drums. I'm going to show you soon. So when it comes to the rig, it's from the tambourine family. Guys, that takes years to study. All these instruments I'm sharing with you. But today I'm going to be like very quick because I want to play something for you as well from each one of these instruments. So these are different size, 23 centimeters in diameter. And Nakhli, the same maker of the white drum, remember? And this is 25. Now the difference, always look at the zills. We say sanjet or sajat. Now sajat could be, or sanjet could be smaller or bigger. Yeah, there is a lot of percussionists that they specialize using those and making beautiful sound from the sajat only. So this one has 5 spaces. 1, count with me, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now in each space, if I get closer to the camera, you can see I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 4, 4, 4 zills or sanjat in each space. So imagine, listen to the sound. Listen to this sound. Many ways to play this beautiful instrument. Most of the time, we play it in Arabic classical music. If you're familiar with the late, great Kulthum, always used to be one rec player with the whole orchestra. And this rec player, or what we call usually Dabat al-Iqa', generally speaking with these instruments, the chief of percussion or the chief percussionist, is our job is to keep that pulse together. So what happened? Let's say I'm playing with the orchestra and they speed. I try to put them back. It's like I'm like the metronome, I'm the heartbeat. And this is basically what percussionist, this is what the main concept, the main fact of being a percussionist, to keep that pulse. Let's say I'm playing with your orchestra or your orchestra or your orchestra, and I start speeding. Then I'm slowing. What's going to happen? You got to say, Hafez, goodbye. Very simple. You are not welcome here. Go learn how to keep the beat, then come back. It doesn't matter all the, what we call coloring, or, you know, coloring, what I mean, the beauty of those sounds that I can make from the instruments. You can do a lot of them, but remember, the main concept, the main point here is to keep the pulse with the orchestra or the singer. So again, I'm going to keep telling you, watch those videos and see how I perform when I have a singer with me. You know, I breathe with her or with him, so I don't bother. I give them space when they're singing. The same thing with the musicians. If it's a violinist, a keyboardist, a pianist, a cellist, oud, nay, qanoon, you name it. I have to always communicate with them through my instruments. Okay, so it is hard to play this one, the rig. Of course, each one of those instruments require a lot of practice, but 3 main ways to play it, and I could forget some of them. But personally, again, this is my own technique. I always hold the instrument with my left because I'm writing now, I'm holding it. Remember, now I hold the instrument up. Remember the dumbak, I'm holding it down, and I'm free with both hands. Now I'm holding this one up. So one way you can play with the zills. Let's stick to that rhythmic cycle left. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As an example. Now, what did I use? The zills and the tack, the sharp sound that we play at the edge with the tip of the fingers. Yeah, that's what exactly I was very picky to write those in my books, so everyone can learn in an easy way, a very clear concept, not be so complicated. And again, these books, just to mention, they are not so thick for a reason, because we got to go step by step. Yes, and that's the way to do it. This is what I found during all these years. It's easy for an adult, a kid, you name it, to understand and learn quickly and become the teacher when they go home and teach the other member of their family. So the other way to play it, I could mute the sound. Watch this. third way. Now I'm playing at the edge. Other way I could do. So now what I'm doing, I'm playing the slap or the suck we say in Arabic, which is the loud one that I don't use a lot, but we need it sometimes, especially with another rhythm. Now remember, we're learning two rhythms, the left. Now this one is the zaffa. Everybody's familiar with zaffa. It's the entrance for the bride and the groom. Usually in Western we hear pam, pam, pa, pam, right? Now in Arabic, most of the time you hear the zaffa rhythmic cycle with what we call zaghruta or zabghuta. Yeah, you see the ladies doing la 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 la, right? So you're familiar with that. And what we do here as percussionists, we go. And that's where we play loud, the rik. And other that's specialized in playing zaffa, such as, I don't have one of them here, but we call it mazhar. Mazhar. Again, I'm giving you just a taste from each instrument. Now, the mazhar will look like this one, kind of, but thicker. Yeah. And we'll have the zills around, but thicker and very loud zills. The mazhar, most of the time, number one use is for zaffa. They go, but this is the way I played it, which probably might sound loud. This is very soft compared to the way they play it in the real zaffa. Yeah, they will be probably 7 or 10 or even more. And nowadays we have so many groups that they specialize in zaffa. They go and they do the zaffa for the bride and the groom. So this is kind of the first way of concept using the mazhar. Yeah, remember, same shape, thicker with the zills around. This one comes from the frame drum family as well. We call it the tar. It's thin at the edge. I will say this is about 14 inch in the diameter, 14 or centimeters. This is tunable. It came from Turkey. You can tell the same concept. So I have all these screws so I can tighten it or change the head. Beautiful, beautiful instrument. One of the kind of way to help this drum or the tar. First one is kind of a Sufi position where I'm holding it here. And one rhythm. Now we are in the third, if you're following. We learned the left. We learn the zaffa. And now we're going to learn the ayub. And some part of Egypt, they call it zar. That rhythm, most of the time, we use it in Sufi music. And this is the instrument that they use. Of course, it could be thicker, but without zills. So nothing shaking. Nothing. It's only a muted drum, kind of, like this one. Okay? Some part they call it katim or maktoum in some Arabic countries for the same instrument. Like you say, tabli, tabla, derbaki, darbuka, dumberlaki. The same concept here. Different country, different names. Now listen to this rhythm, guys. Very easy. I'm going to use one hand. This is my right hand. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to play it 8 times. 6, 7, 8. Now I used one hand, which is the right. Other way to hold it, I'm going to put it here. So now I have more freedom, right? This hand is more going to help. This is my left now and the right. See, you're already listening and hearing different notations, different ornamentations, coloring. I always compare this to when we're cooking, right? Adding the spices. Same concept here. From this basic skeleton rhythm or the shell, we do. Now the third way, I'm not sure if you're gonna see it, but I'll put it between my legs, and now I have more freedom. It goes. So what happened here? More freedom for the hands, more sound. I never forget my tour with the famous George Wassouf. If you're familiar with him, I'm sure you are. Back, I believe, 2013, 2010, to Canada, and 7 performances in the US. I did play the drum set in Canada, and I played this particular one, all the performances in the US. And there's a song, Isma'uni, if you're familiar with it. Isma'uni, right? There's a part where this particular instrument will shine and will be playing a very famous rhythmic cycle, Maqsoom, or fast Saidi, from Said in Egypt. So very, very important. Now, why I'm showing you this, guys? Because this is kind of completing each other. Simple concept when it says when you think of, okay, what is the percussion section in Arabic music? How many instruments, for example, we use? Most of the time, you'll see 3 now, even more. Now we add the drum set, we add some congas. There's a lot of people adding more instruments, which is good, but we don't want to forget the culture and keep that concept, please. What I mean with that, 3 instruments: the rik, the tabli or darbaki or darbuka or tabla in Egypt, and the frame drum, the tar, the mazhar, the katim or maktoum. Listen to this one. This is my last one that I'm going to show you. I really wanted you to kind of learn about these instruments, even if I talk with this one. Test 1. Hello. I'm not sure if you hear the echo. This is 22 inch in diameter. Look at this. 22. It is tunable. I love them. Cooperman, they're very famous with the frame drums and many instruments. Listen to this. And we go again to the famous Ayyub. 1, 2, 3. Remember? 4. Did you hear that? Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm not sure if you can capture that in the audio, but it's a lot of echo from this instrument. A lot of echo. Now, tabla. Okay, we learned the dum, which is, yeah, when you read these books that I wrote, you'll see it's a bassy sound. We play it in the middle of the drum. You see, it's like you shaking hand with somebody, right? In the middle of the drum. I always keep the thumb out. Yeah, you don't want to do that. See, right away, it's a different thing. Or the tack at the edge. Could be left hand, could be 2 hands, it could be a dumen attack or 2-hand tag. Now, simple fact, how we do a drum roll, Hafez, how would you do a drum roll in here? We do single, right? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, with the most famous way in Arabic technique when you play the tabli. And you keep speeding. And that will become the drum roll, or you go with your dooms. Or what I call the cat drum roll. Basically, what I teach my students to do this, and they go on the bottom, and they do. And you see some videos I'm using even part of my drum in here. So this drum is a talkative drum. I'm going to try to do this with you. Listen to it. Hopefully, I get it right here. Usually, I do it with the other drum. Listen to this. Here we go. Almost. Yeah, did you remember this? So here you go. Watch this. Did you hear it? So what happened here? I'm putting my hand. This is my left again. It's very important to remember the hands here. I'm putting it inside. So I'm muting that. I'm not allowing that air to circulate and go out of the dumbak from here. So that's why you hear that boom. You hear it? Okay. Now, to show you some tricks, I'm sure everybody's waiting for that. What we do, the drum roll. Now, there are other ways. such as I keep the single in here and I'm alternating index ring. I'm not sure if you can see that. And there are the other way where index ring, index ring. So 3 ways to do that, okay? Most of the time I use singles, or I use the double with the left and the right. Or. So muting the head of the drum or the instrument, the dumbak, tabla, remember those names. If I do just a sign like this, okay, and I put it here, and I start playing left hand tags, and I go down, up, down, listen to this sound. If I go up, so it became sharper. You notice that, right? It's like I'm talking to you. And I continue. Or I can use this part. Listen to this. I'm going to use this drum as an example. So this is a basic samba pattern from Brazil. Very famous rhythmic cycle. So again, putting those cultures together, remember? If I play left, remember the first rhythm we learned? Doom, tack, tack, doom, tack, tack, doom, tack, tack, okay? And I put that left as a samba pattern, put it together. So now you have the Middle East and you have Brazil here, right? Playing together. Listen. Remember? And I go faster. So basically, this hand is doing or. I'm going to use this frame drum as an example. You can't see it, but it's right here. So this is what I do most of the time in performances. You see me having different instruments around me and talking with these instruments. That's the idea. Now, all this will change when I'm playing with the singer. My job will change completely. Remember, I'm going to be focusing in what I'm asked to do, play the simple rhythm while they're singing. As an example, if we're doing this famous لما بدا موشح as an example, if I go لما بدا يتثنى لما بدا يتثنى as an example, أمان 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 حبي جمال فتنا أمان 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 أمان. You notice I didn't do anything out of order, or I went like or no need at all. This is, remember, when I'm doing my own percussion solo with my students, a composition as an example, you know, that I compose. I always write a lot of compositions, percussion solos, arrangements that I teach my students as well. So they learn technique, the reading, the composition, how to communicate with different instruments like I'm doing now. So what happened? What did I do here with the Rick? R-I-Q-Q or R-I-Q. What did I do here? I kept it simple, and I played what exactly the singer asked. I became two-person here, a singer and a percussionist. So what happened? I kept it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're ready for this rhythm. Remember, we learn left. What else? Remind me. What other than left? Uh-oh, did you forget? Don't forget. We learn left. We play the Saidi, tak, or fast maksum. We learn zaffa. Remember, for the bride and the groom. And this one is the sama'i thaqil. Very important instrument in Arabic classical music. Very famous. Sama'i thaqil. Yeah? Sama'i comes from sama, listening. Thaqil, heavy. The reason why it's kind of, they put it for the Arabic classical, you know, the poem from Andalusia. لما بدا يتثنى example, right? So what happened here? I kept it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. Now, if you watching and enjoying, hopefully, clap with me the, or do that for the dooms. Now, what do you mean, Hafez? Okay, let's talk about that fast. 10 notations in one measure. Okay, so we gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you gotta clap. Focus. You gotta clap in 1, 6, and 7 only. All right, so that's easy, Hafez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now try to play this with me. So clap when I tell you to go. Okay, I'm gonna do 9, 10. Then you start. Okay, after I say 10, you start clapping. 1, 6, and 7. Don't forget. Here we go. 9, 10. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep going. 1, 6, 7, 8. Keep going. 1, 6, 7, 8. 1, 6, 7, 8. Keep going. 1, 6, 7, 8. So, did you hear so many sounds? Now, because I'm not singing, I'm teaching you that rhythm. So, Samai, Taqil. 1, 6, and 7 are the dooms. What happened to the tax, Hafez? Where are they? 4 and 8. So, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what happened when I teach a rhythmic cycle? We study the skeleton first, which is what we just did. Yeah, how we write it. Doom, rest, rest, tack, rest, doom, doom, tack, rest, rest. When we understand the concept, we understand the skeleton or the shell of that rhythmic cycle. Now we're talking about Samai. Then you can do all the ornamentations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're ready to go. You can do 1, 1, or so many ways. Traditionally, we play the downbeat or the doom with the index, and we play the tap with the ring finger. Now remember, this is my right hand right here. Personally, I always, most of the time, play the doom with the middle or the ring. So it depends the percussionist. And of course, many sounds. When you do, for example, or so I'm doubling. Or with the zills, the same thing. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Or when I'm lifting. So very picky instrument, let me call it. I call it cute and picky because of the beauty of those sounds. Now this one is, it's heavier, it's bigger, so more sound, more sound. And Nakhli particularly is famous with the zill that he makes, which is this one. Listen to the zills. So that's the sharpest. So basically he did that, again, he's a percussionist. He did that for the percussionist when we're doing a solo. It's only me. Like now, I'm doing with you guys, I'm showing you all this. I could go and have the freedom. Instead of playing here, I could go to this one and it will become. Or so why? Because it's bigger, so the sound is like the bass is more in this one. Of course, each one I'll use it when depends the music I'm playing. So rare the times that I take 2 or 3 with me, like 3 doombacks to a performance, unless it's a recording. session that that will require, the composer will tell me, Hafez, bring this one, bring that one, and this one, use it since it's sharper, that's deeper. You got the point. Same thing with the frame drums. Yeah, like the big daf or the small tar. This one, most of the time, it's known as a frame drum. In Arabic, we have the daf, we have the tar, we have the bandir, we have the katim or maktoum, so many names. So generally speaking, it's a very wide range when it comes to these instruments. The knowledge, the history, the culture behind these instruments, it's unbelievable. I'm learning every day something new, even with my students. I tell them it's a teamwork. We learn from each other. The difference here, I have more experience. I've been doing this for more years than you, but always I learn from them. What I mean, the video I share with the students when I start this with you guys, the composition I wrote there, or the rhythmic cycles I put together, I'll change them. Like what happened when I go to the school and some student come to me and say, Mr. Hafez, can we, instead of doing, let's say, this one, can we just do while the others are doing? So basically it will sound like, as an example, I will say, of course. Now, why? Because what happened here, they become the composers, not me. So, okay, all I have to do is come to the percussion sheet and you know what, change it. Okay, put this, take this off, put this one. And most of the time I put the name of the students. Yeah, and usually I introduce that part to the audience in schools, and the audience, who are they? Parents, teachers, fellow students. And I will say, well, this measure right here, we changed it because, as an example, Dana wanted to do this, or Danny, or Michael, and you name it, yeah? Samir, Sahar changed it. And I keep it the way they want it. So it's a teamwork at the end. So when I'm teaching, it's different, of course, than when I'm performing. When I'm soloing, it's different when I'm following a singer. So many ways to use these beautiful instruments. Of course, we have more doumbeks, color-wise, makers, more rigs. There are so many makers out there. For students, I always ask them to get a different company. It's easier, it's cheaper. It's, handy. What I say with handy, if this one I drop it, most of the time will not, because Nakhli confirmed that this is not a breakable instrument. But if I drop this beauty right here, or the other, of course, they get about like split-second pieces, because this is, even it's metal, it's breakable. Yes? With the rigs, these are mahogany woods, by the way, just to let you know, I forgot to mention. And it is painted, and they add from brass, they put the sanjat and has. Yeah? And even if I do, it will take time for that zil to keep just rolling. How I do drum roll in the rig, by the way, guys, this is one of the hardest things. One exercise that I tell everyone and encourage all the rig players out there to try it, when you do a drum roll, basically we have that motion with the right hand, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Then it become faster. So if I'll do this kind of, I'm not sure if you're gonna see it, but this is what my hand is doing here. The left hand is doing nothing, it's just holding that instrument, yeah, the rig. But the right is doing the motion, like the shaker. But the other way, if I don't touch it, and I just shake it here. So what I do, this is a very good exercise for everyone. I'm not warm enough to do it, but listen. So did you find that? Did you feel that difference? If I'm warm enough, you will not find that. What I mean, it will continue rolling even I'm switching. Yeah? It's very hard. That's why you need to be warm enough to do it. But I encourage all these rig players out there to try it. Other than that, what we talked about. The name of the instruments, let's remember together. The tabla, which is our main one for tonight. Yes. It is traditionally what? Made of what? Clay, fish or goat skin, the head. And of course they paint. Most of the time it will be like we call annabi, the loan, yeah? Nbiti, I think they say in Egypt. Loan al-annabi, that was the most famous color. They will paint that fukhar, the clay, and they will put it. But let me show you other sounds for a little bit. So I'm gonna just play a couple seconds here for you. Let's see. This one. Let me try it. This is a heavy one. Here it goes. So usually I do this at the end. I'm gonna stop here and see if you have any questions for me. Hopefully I didn't forget to mention any important point. I try to kind of cover kind of what I do with these instruments. And again, there are many more. If I'm touring with a Latin singer, first tour I did was in Miami when I came from Venezuela. I was playing the djembes, the congas, the drum set, the cajon from Peru, which is kind of a box where I sit and I play, and different around it. And again, combining these beautiful instruments and sounds together and culture, which is most important. So I'm all yours if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Hafez, you're amazingly talented. That was so beautiful to listen to. I don't see any questions. I see a lot of comments just saying how amazing you are and thanking you for sharing your love of music and going in depth about the history and the cultural part of it too. That's always very important. I'll give it a couple seconds to a minute for some questions if you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share. But otherwise, I just want to say thank you again for sharing.
To close, I'm going to just encourage everyone to visit our website. Please go to albustanseeds.org or watch our channel and YouTube. Just for Al-Bustan Seeds of Culture. There are so many videos where you hear beautiful music with a very important artist worldwide that we invite as a guest artist during all these years. And you can see the students performing. Remember, they are the future. As I always tell them, we learn together. These kids, they want to continue what we started, like I continue what my teacher taught me. And that's how it's going to go. Our culture is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. It is beautiful. So let's share it through music, through poetry, you name it. So at Al-Bustan, we teach the music, the Arabic language, the art. So please take a couple seconds, couple minutes, and check that website. We have our music tool. Let's say if you want to learn the song, the famous song from Fairuz, Nassam Alayna al-Hawa. As an example, you can go to our website and check that music tool. You can read the lyrics, the translation, transliteration, the percussion that I wrote myself with the cuts, and you can learn it and you can become the singer. You can sing with the music. And to mention the late, great Michel Mirhej, you know, who is one of the kings playing this instrument. Sadly speaking, we just lost him a couple months ago. And there is a video where I dedicate a brick solo for him. I toured with Michel with the one and only Marcel Khalifi. I had the honor to tour with Marcel, again, Canada and the US, and Michel was the brick player that, sadly speaking, we lost him a couple months ago. But yes, everything you hear from Fairuz, he's the one behind playing these beautiful zills. He's famous using a lot of zills. So thank you for having me. It was an honor to be with you guys. And, you know, continue spreading the culture and the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to give a really big shout out to Al-Bustan also for all the work you guys always do. I definitely want to echo encouraging everyone to go on their website. I'm sharing the website. Thank you, Yoshi, for putting it. I'm showing it to everyone. They have a lot of amazing resources, and hopefully we can keep working together.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care.